How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the first live stream of MLB, the show 26, and it is spring training ahead of season 2 in our Cardinals draft-only franchise. What we're going to be focusing on today is, of course, there are a lot of new additions to the 40-man roster. JJ Wetherholt will get his chance to earn a spot on the opening day roster here in spring. He's 24 years old, he's 76 overall, and he's the second best player on our team right now. So I think he'd have to play pretty poorly for him not to make the opening day roster. I could see one more year down at AAA using that first option, but I'd prefer it, and it looks like, based on the poll that I put up, it would be the preference if he does make the opening day roster. So that is currently the plan. We're going to be taking a look at him. We also made 20 Rule 5 draft picks, and I want to see how they do. We're going to be taking a look here at Alec Marsh, the highest overall player that we took in the Rule 5 draft. Also, one of only 2 guys that we took with B potential, with the other one being a 30-year-old reliever. So we're going to watch Alec Marsh pitch some, and then I want to see kind of this offense in general. It's not going to be very good. I'll show you what I've come up with for a lineup for spring. We're going to have Mason Wynn hitting leadoff, which is kind of funny, but he is the best contact hitter we have on our team right now, at least against right-handed pitching. JJ is going to be in the 2 spots. Then kind of between 3 and 7, you can make an argument for anybody, honestly. Like, I just put them ultimately in this order, but they're all very similar hitters. It's going to be Trevor Hauver here at left field, Tim Elko, Ivan Melendez, Yanquiel Fernandez with the rocket arm. I hope we can see a couple of sick outs from right field maybe in this stream. That'd be cool. Brian Ramos, who is not a Rule 5 pick. And then these are our 2 worst offensive players here, our center fielder and Christian Robinson. And then our catcher here in Leonardo Bernal. And I realize my face cam is covering that up, so I'll hide it here quickly. Here it is. So, against left-handed pitching, that's where Santiago Espinal becomes our leadoff man, because he's got excellent contact versus left-handed pitching and excellent plate vision as well. Then Mason Wynn and JJ Wetherholt will slot in after him, and Jordan Walker, at least in the spring, will be playing for us against left-handed pitching. So that's what we've got here for spring. Let me put the face cam back on real quickly here. Should be fun, but I mean, we're talking about our best hitters are guys in the mid 50s, low 60s. So I don't know what kind of offense we're going to see. I've done some work on some sliders between kind of when we ended the season and where we are now. I just put this down for some testing earlier, so I usually keep this one below the max. I probably got to make sure that's updated. In terms of hitting, so human probably doesn't have much really to do with it, but I have the human is the same as the CPU. So we're going to have 7 contact, power, and timing, 6 solid hits, 6 pitcher consistency, control, strike frequency, and starter stamina. This actually isn't saved. Let me discard the changes and go to load because I should. There we go. This should be. Yeah, because I did lower pitcher consistency and strike frequency a little bit. Base runner, we have base runner speed slightly boosted, steal ability and frequency up, pickoffs down low. So I'll be probably releasing a full slider video once I'm confident these are the ones, but these are the sliders we're using for spring. So what we're going to do here is we're going to watch some player focused games and some not full games, but I do want to get some games where we're watching the entirety of the offense just so we can see everybody in action hitting for us. We're going to start here. We're going to start by watching Alec Marsh pitch here in the first game of spring training. Let's go ahead and turn the music off as we will get the sounds of baseball coming in for us. Skip through the intro here. Alec Marsh, 73 overall. Back in 2024, he started 25 games, 4.53 ERA, 1.26 WHIP. Not great, but not terrible. And we're hoping he can maybe even do a little bit better than that. So just making sure, yep, we do have CPU versus CPU on. Let's see how he does against this Nationals lineup. Very young lineup, not super high overall yet. I imagine they're still one of the lower rated teams in baseball after 1 year. Started so low that I don't think 1 year is going to fix them up by any means. They got CJ Abrams here at the leadoff spot. How's it going, Austin? Excited for some spring training. I'm excited to actually pay attention to the big league team this year. I know year one, we watched like one Mason Wynn game. But that was on purpose. And now we're going to be paying attention to all 3 levels this year. Oliver Davis. I'm excited to see him play for the first time. Not in today's stream, of course. As we'll get a strikeout here from Alec Marsh to kick off spring training. Here's a look at that lineup here. Doesn't look like they really had any major additions in the offseason either. But James Wood is a very talented hitter. This one will be fair down the third base line. Hover giving chase, and it's going to be an extra base hit for James Wood, who slides in. There's a look at JJ there playing second. How's it going, Cagney? Happy to have you here on stream. So we get a 1-out double from James Wood. He's by far their best player in their lineup. Love the scouting video. Appreciate it. I do put a lot of research into that video every year because I want to make sure it's actually valuable. This year I generated 100 draft classes before I made the video. There's still probably a couple things I could have talked about in that video that I ended up not because it was already so long, but. And there's another hit there. Dalen Lyle. It's going to bring home James Wood. RBI single. So Alec Marsh started with the strikeout, but then he's allowed 2 straight runners. Already drafted 4 generational and 2 semi-generational prospects. That's pretty dang good. I'm hoping we can get our first generational player. I feel like there's a generational player in year 2 of my franchises almost all the time. It's crazy. How's it going? J Mizdow Jr. Let's see if Alec Marsh here can get another out. Maybe a double play. There we go. We get the chopper we need. Win to Wetherholt, to Elko for the 6-4-3. Double play and out of the inning. Does allow a run there for us, though. So for this game, we're only focusing on Alec Marsh. So we're going to just quick sim these. It's not showing us what's happening here, but we scored a run. What the heck? They didn't show us. Usually they show you there what's happening. But we did tie it up. Oswaldo Cabrera next up to the plate here for the Nationals. Flies out to Robinson out there playing some center field for us. Which position do you think is the best to get a generational player at? I think third basemen are my favorite generational players, honestly. I think they have the best combination of power and fielding. Like first baseman, if you want power, first base. You can get first basemen that start with 80-plus power as generational prospects. They're insane, but you're not going to get much of an impact in the field. Shortstops and center fielders can be really good fielders or better than the other generational players, but they start with a little bit lower power. But then that third base, I feel like, is the perfect happy medium where they have decent speed, above average fielding, and power. And that's where a lot of the times you'll see the higher overall generationals too. Like usually you get the 81s and the 82 overall generational players at that third base spot. Catcher's another one that's pretty good. That gets decent power and fielding because they're really slow. So some of that overall goes to the other ratings. So those are probably my favorite two, catcher and third base. I don't really like the corner outfielders all that often. They're usually really short. I shouldn't say usually, but that's where I've seen the most short generational players. And sometimes those are the ones where I see the lower overalls. You do get the higher overall ones too, but I'd say corner outfield's not my favorite. Especially because, like, if I'm getting a right field corner outfielder, can you give me like a cannon arm? And they just don't generate players with that strong of arm at generational players. They don't usually have weak arms, though. Just not cannon arms. Good question, though. I love talking about generational prospects. Even though they're way too common in the game, they're still very fun, of course. Ruiz stays alive there. 2-2 pitch. I've mentioned in an earlier episode that I like this box disappearing, but what I don't like is ultimately I can't see where the pitch ended up, which I like to do. I wish you could do like after the challenge period is over, you could see where the pitch was, because I know you can do that in like Road to the Show, for example, and maybe probably even when you're playing you can do that too. This one into center field, giving chase is Robinson. He runs it down. Not going to tag here. So 2 out and a man on second for the center fielder here. Getting towards the bottom of the lineup. Usually you don't see more than 3 or 4 innings in a spring training start. So if we can get through that amount of time without allowing an additional run, I'd call that a pretty nice sequence here for Alec Marsh. But so far, I think I like what I'm seeing from the sliders here. Gotten a couple hits here, an extra base hit. No home run yet, obviously, but what I like about boosting both the hitters and the pitchers with sliders is you will get more hits, but if you have a good pitcher, you'll still get the low-scoring games as well. 35 pitches for Alec Marsh so far, and I mean, y'all saw that I had foul ball frequency pretty low. But Hassel's here staying inside until he takes that pitch. I don't know what you're doing there. Any notable changes? Power's boosted by 1. And a couple of the pitcher ratings are nerfed by 1. Just because I feel like offense was a little worse than it was at the start of MLB The Show 25. So I had to nerf pitchers a little bit, boost hitters a little bit, but not a ton. And I like where they're at right now. I still probably want to do a little bit more testing. Going to get a challenge here from Brady House. I remember back in, what was it, MLB The Show 23 or 24. He's one of the better prospects. Down to a C potential in this game, though. They've really nerfed some guys at the release of this game. Which there have been several comments about so far in this series about how some of the prospects should be better. Overall, I'd probably agree, but since having worse prospects gives me more to draft, I'm not really going to complain about it, since drafting is my favorite part. I'm excited to see JJ here at the MLB level. Didn't go well when we watched him at the minors last year, but the gameplay is just better in the majors. Upstairs for CJ Abrams here. So we're back to the top of the lineup here for the Nationals. We get a runner, and he got him. There we go. Leonardo Bernal. Able to catch Brady House stealing. Good first initial impression for Bernal. Out there, he's definitely more of a defensive-minded catcher. He's hitting 9th for us for a reason. If you're hitting in the 9th spot in a Rule 5 draft team, you know the offense is not very good. That one cracked into that right center field gap by Abrams. It'll bang off the wall. Easily should be extra bases, and one out double. 107 off the bat there for Abrams. He smoked that thing, and here back again is James Wood, who got a double back in inning 1.
Ball outside.
Now looking to bring in a run. About to be to 50 pitches for Marsh here through 2 1/3 innings. So he's had some tough at-bats. He's had some struggle finishing some at-bats. There's been a lot of those that have been extended through foul tips. Two 1 pitch, and Wood swings on it foul. Can we get James Wood out on a strikeout just low there? The count runs full. Against a man with great power here, and this one's a pretty good pitch. Kept it high enough that Wood went underneath it, and there's the cannon arm. Not even going to test it there. I mean, with 2 outs, it's not as important. But Yanquiel Fernandez, people scared of that 99 arm strength. I think 3 is going to be the last one here for Marsh. Due to the nature. I think his stamina is around 70. Now I've boosted starter stamina in the sliders by 1. So pitchers can usually go a little bit past their stamina count as far as pitch count. But not very much. Oh my goodness. Lyle just flung that bat. I got to see this. That is deep. Thoughts on, I had a commenter tell me it's Saintje, not Saintje. Thoughts on Saintje making the MLB rotation this year? Overall wise, I think he's certainly there. I thought about inviting him to spring here. I just look at his ratings and there's nothing really that screams to me MLB ready. He has a couple in the very low 70s. But he also has some ratings in the 40s, so I want one more year. I think I could see him being a September call-up, though, for sure. Let's see if we bring back Marsh. I doubt we will. And that's going to be it for Alec Marsh. So allowed that early run, struggled a bit getting batters out, but ultimately only allowed the 1. Didn't realize you didn't add him to the 40-man. Yeah, he wasn't Rule 5 eligible, so I didn't feel the need to. And we'll go through it here because, I mean, it's really close. I was looking at it before stream, and I was tempted to add him. And we'll take a look here. The other part of it is we kind of need every single pitcher that we have. So promoting him would have us lose a pitcher, and then we'd kind of be down more pitchers. I could always just like sign a terrible player in free agency or something. I mean, he is tied for the highest overall we have among starting pitchers. He's a 73 overall, and the K per 9 versus lefties and the hits per 9 versus lefties. So he's a pretty good pitcher against left-handed hitters. But home runs per 9, still below 50, control below 50, and that's such an important rating. We know he can pitch well in the minors. He did that last year for us. I just feel like I need a little bit. I want those things in the 40s to get into the 50s, maybe clutch a few ratings up. Hits per 9 versus right-handers, a few ratings up, and then I feel like he'll be ready. He would definitely be one of the best pitchers on our team. It'd be him or Alec Marsh. But I'm more interested in making sure that we get good development from Urangelo here than I am making sure we have the best 5 pitchers in our rotation next year, because we're going to be terrible next year no matter who's in our rotation. Our best hitter is Mason Wynn, who hit 240 last year. Yeah. Speaking of Mason Wynn, though, I think the next game we'll hop into will be a game that will watch Mason Wynn and JJ Wetherholt back. They're going to be batting right next to each other in the order. We're going to be going against Skeens here. No, we're going to see a lot of our division rivals. Let's go against a non-division rival. Let's go against the Marlins. Why not? So I'll take a look at Mason Wynn and JJ Wetherholt. Okay, so we're facing a lefty here today. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't look at who was going to be starting for the Marlins. So that'll have them batting second and third. Going to be Quinn Matthews with only 1 T. Not often you see that. Okay, now they'll actually show us the result. I don't know why it wasn't showing us it last time. So Espinal, the best hitter we have, him against lefties is the best thing we got. He grounds out. That'll bring up Mason Wynn. We did not get a lot of offensive highlights in year 1. Part of it was because my sliders weren't ready. Part of it is because most of what we were watching was minor leagues. But Mason Wynn does not take long to get on base. First pitch, he's swinging at it. Gets it through that right infield gap. And now here he is, JJ Wetherholt. I think very easily could be the best player for us on the Major League squad. When able to get back to the bag on time. Lefty's not really his favorable side, but it's not going to matter here. He gets it down into the outfield. Reaches the wall. Mason Wynn going to go home, and no! The throw was just good enough. Mason Wynn won't get there, so not going to be an RBI for JJ Wetherholt. But already, more highlights than we saw JJ Wetherholt all of year one in the minors. So far the sliders are looking pretty good. I might be ready to release those pretty soon here. Oh, we get a homer from Stowers. Probably can go another inning before we see those two again. We will watch all of our offense just to get a feel for the whole squad, but for now, let's just focus on the guys who are going to be the studs for us next year. Or at least the guys that we're counting on being studs for us. Runners on the corners for Mason here. He is not shy about swinging here. Of course, the Gold Glove shortstop in 2025 in real life for St. Louis. Falling behind on this one, 0-2 after looking at that high pitch. And, oh man, I said he wasn't shy about swinging, and then he looks at two straight strike pitches. That's not great. Wetherholt nearly drove in his first run last at-bat. Gets another excellent opportunity here, but taps it. Going to be out on the tag, but he will bring in a St. Louis run. Able to avoid the double play. It was soft enough that the double play wasn't going to be there.
Up next for the Cardinals.
Let's get to the other one. So both guys 1 for 2. Wetherholt with an RBI. Ooh, nice. Nice inning there from Matthews, striking out the side. Yeah, I like actually being able to see what's going on, unlike last game for some reason. So Dax Fulton comes in. I have no idea if he's a righty or lefty, if I'm being honest. Another lefty. Fulton, a lot of break there on that one. In for strike 1. So now that's 3 straight strikes that Wynn has sat on. Not that I minded sitting on that 0-0 pitch right there, of course. Probably a bit outside, but Wynn wanted to swing just in case. 1-2.
Nope, ball.
Just misses the plate. Good eyes there from Mason. Staying alive here. Good at bat for Mason so far. 6th pitch is fouled off again. Just got to check something here. Okay, so human foul frequency is off. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Not that because he fouled 2 straight pitches off, the sliders are broken, but. What's the timeline for Davis? Oliver Davis. Well, his fielding rating is 33. That's pretty tough, and it's going to take a lot of time. Ultimately, as a hitter, I think it could be like a September call-up of season 3 situation. But as a fielder. Oh, they're doing it again. Nice.
Now pitching for Miami, number 6.
As a fielder, it's tough to say. It kind of depends on where we want him to play. Because if we're going to ask him to play third base, that's a pretty important position, and you don't want somebody as much of a liability as he will be.
Ball.
So, kind of just depends on how he develops as a fielder. If he's going up like 2 or 3 ratings per year, it's going to take a while. If he's going up like 5 or 6 ratings a year, maybe a little bit sooner. I just saw JJ Wetherholt's average there. That's kind of why I lost my train of thought. He is not hitting well at all. Jeez.
Ball 4. Take your base.
Starting to bring in a lot of different players here. So Jay-Z in at left field, even though he doesn't play left field.
Pinch hitting for the Cardinals, number 86.
Wow, we are putting some guys at some positions out here, man.
Hernandez. Now playing third base, number 38.
This is where the simulation starts to take forever because every single person is getting subbed out. Jeez, Pedro Avila. Pedro Avila, what? That was terrible. Is Mason Wynn going to be... Nope, Mason Wynn subbed out.
This change for the Marlins. Now playing second base, number 76.
It's JJ Wetherholt. Nope. All right, there you go. So that's it for this game. I think next game... So we get a good hit for them in the first inning from each. Nothing really doing after that, though. I'll show Oliver Davis here because I actually updated his look a little bit from what I showed you guys in the offseason. I gave him a different face, one that I think looks a little bit more like a real person's face than what he had before. And I'll give us a chance to look at his ratings as well. I also just want to show you guys actually the top 100 prospects list. See how much it's changed after 1 year. Oliver Davis does come in at the number 1 prospect in all of baseball, really just because he is a 99 potential guy. So, as you can see, I did change his face. I think this looks more like an actual person than his previous face. You really worry about that fielding, though. I mean, 33 fielding. The reaction comes around averaging probably in the high 30s. Arm strength at 49 is not terrible, honestly, for an 18-year-old, but accuracy is a big problem. If you want him to DH, I think he could be ready pretty soon, but if you want him to play in the field for you, especially at third base, oof. Fiend being YT featured today. Is that true? That's pretty awesome. I didn't know that was the case. Probably would explain a decent high amount of viewers on the stream. That would help explain. Oh, I didn't want to just go through that. So Gene Golden, the guy who I actually thought was the best player in last year's class, over Oliver Golden even, or Oliver Davis. I combined their names. Gene Golden here, just much more of a well-rounded player. No surprise that he's the number 2 prospect in baseball. There's a closer. This is not very realistic. A closer would never be the number 3 prospect in baseball. Braden Quezada, of course, moved in that massive Seager for Quezada deal. Corey Seager to the Braves, Braden Quezada. So they got a top 5 prospect out of Seager there. Devin Horvath, the guy who almost fell to us. Could you imagine getting the number 1 prospect in the first round and then getting the number 5 prospect? Would have been awesome, but just missed out on it, unfortunately. Another closer here. There are some guys already in the MLB, so these guys were just drafted in last year's draft. So Arturo Casillas is already at the MLB with the Rays, not the Reyes. He just has terrible durability, but other than that, he's a pretty good player. Billy Coleman, a closer. JJ's with us. There was a couple other guys. Dominic Cabrera was just drafted. He's already at the MLB. Walker Jenkins. So I did look to see if maybe we could trade for him this year. Where is he? Let's just go But Montes has been added to the 40-man roster. So thinking about maybe trying to trade for him this year. Not going to be possible, unfortunately. In terms of guys that I have my eye on for trade targets, it honestly is going to probably depend on what we get in the draft. I think there's a good possibility we will make our first actual trade this year, and it'll just be for whatever we missed out on the draft. Let's say we can't get a great pitcher, then we might trade for a pitcher. Let's say we can't get any power, then I'll probably be looking at a power hitter. One guy that I said at the time of the draft I would not trade for, but I actually think might be worth trading for is Alvin Logan. I said, a DH probably isn't worth using one of your 3 trades for, but if your DH is this good, now he only has 84 potential, but this is a guy that if we can get somebody like him in the draft, then obviously not. But if we can't get a good power hitter, that is some serious power. And he's not like so high of a potential that I think it would take like a massive, massive deal to get off of to get them to trade him for us. So, but I mean, what was it? So Walker Jenkins was number 7 last year. He's down to 17. So pretty good draft class. Another guy that I really was considering trading for, but he's already on the MLB roster, is Greg Dodd. I really wanted to. I had him on the short list just because he has 87 control right away, which is absolutely nuts, but he's already on the 40-man roster, so I can't trade for him. That was probably my number 1 pitching trading partner, but target, but we'll see what happens elsewhere. All right. Said I'd quickly show. I just want to show you the updated look for Oliver Davis real quick. Here it is. A little bit different than last time. We'll watch his debut. Probably not next episode because next episode's going to be opening day. But probably the one after that. Let's watch a game against the Mets. And for this one, we're going to watch all of our batters. Let's get a sneak peek of what our offense is going to look like. I think it's going to be rough. Okay, so JJ Wetherholt has started to turn around in spring, which is nice. I was worried that he hit so poorly that it would make it tough for me to actually bring him on the opening day roster, but he's up to 250, which is good enough. The bar for him to make it to the opening day roster is not very high because I want him to be on the opening day roster. So, let's get into this one. See how we do against Clay Holmes. I can't say I'm super familiar with Clay Holmes, so let's look at who we're going up against here. 79 overall pitcher. Pretty well rounded. Excellent clutch. So it's going to be hard to drive runners in once we get in scoring position. So leading off for us, Mason Wynn. Once again, I mean, that's pretty much exactly how he started the last game we watched. Swinging on the first pitch, gets it right through the infield there off the ground.
JJ Wetherholt.
That brings us to JJ. A little more comfortable hitting against the righty, you'd think. Does have a home run so far in spring and OPS north of 800. That's pretty encouraging. That's right where we want to see it. Chopper. Pretty easily handled at second there, so a ground out from JJ here.
Batting third, the left fielder,
Trevor Hauver. I think the 3 through 7 spots, I said it at the beginning of the stream here, are very fluid. So you can see a lot of movement there. I'm pretty confident in JJ and Mason Wynn hitting at the top of our order. I mean, maybe moving JJ to 3 could make sense, but we get a good swing of the bat there from Trevor Hauver. That should bring home a run. So far, making me feel good about the decision to put him at 3. Trevor Hauver, let's go. I mean, that's a good swing there. Nice, good sound on it. How is the game volume for everybody? I know sometimes between games I have to change it a little bit. Are you actually able to hear when somebody makes good contact with the ball? Because I feel like that's one of the best parts about the game. Is hearing that sweet, hard contact. Elko, like most of our 40-man roster, acquired through the Rule 5 draft. A little quiet, but I wouldn't have noticed if you didn't ask. I can boost it a little bit here, so I have it at, let's go like up to there maybe.
Ball 2.
See if that's any better. Because I tuned it right for 2K, but sometimes what's right on 2K isn't right for MLB The Show. I feel like 2K is more of like kind of consistent volume, where MLB The Show has a lot of like quiet and then loud, quiet, and loud. So you got to dial it in.
Strike 1.
Iman Melendez really struggling here. Not what you want from a DH hitting 172.
That's the ball.
I'm honestly probably going to use spring training to determine a lot of what happens 3 through 7. I said it initially kind of based off gut. We'll have about a month's worth of data here to work with following spring. There we go. A hard hit from Ivan here. That might score another one. And the throw will take Lindor off the bag, so slides in safely to second. Seen quite a few doubles so far here in spring. Yanquiel Fernandez, right fielder. That one just foul. I like that stance here from Yanquiel. Those New Balance shoes, man. I mean, for me, growing up, I just felt like New Balance was old man shoes, but they've started to kind of creep their way into the professional sports scene. Nice job battling here from Fernandez, not letting this at-bat go by easily. And you can see, even with foul tendency turned all the way down, man, you're still going to get a lot. That's why I recommend it.
That's a ball.
Off the plate there. 8 pitches so far. Great battle here from Fernandez. Let's hope we can come away with a victory. Oh, that was a good pitch. Alec Marsh on the mound for us, but that's not what we're watching this game for. I might want to get one more Alec Marsh game in, just because he's probably the most exciting Rule 5 draft pick. Ryan Ramos here, one of the few guys on our 40-man roster, not a Rule 5 pick. Hitting pretty good so far in spring, 290. He'll take that all day for a guy with his hitting ratings in the mid-50s. Started to be live while you're at work. Well, I got to do it early enough because I actually have to record opening day today. Because Mondays I can't record anything. So if I want to release opening day tomorrow, which is kind of my goal, I had to do this early enough in the day that it gave me time to still record after the stream.
No, that's a ball.
Looking forward to restart the holy ads. It shouldn't be bad. I set it as at like the minimum ads setting that you could possibly do. I think it's like once every 30 minutes. Robinson. We'll see with the throw. He does have some speed, but not going to beat that throw.
Batting ninth, the catcher, number 13,
Good play from Lindor there.
Bernal.
Wasn't a great hit. I don't know if he really earned the single, so. Leonardo Bernal. Wow, he's hitting 323? That's crazy. I mean, only 31 at-bats, okay. But, I mean, look at bro's ratings. I mean, I guess against lefties are not bad. 64 contacts against lefties. But against righties, not very good.
Whoa.
OPS above 1,000. Let's go. We're still pretty early in the spring, so a lot of these guys' stats are, of course, going to change as we get more games in. Especially because people don't typically play the full game in spring. Swinging through that one. Evens us up at 2 apiece here for Leo. That is going to get down for a single, so Bernal's hot streak continues here. Let's go, man. I'd love it if Bernal could
Up next for the Cardinals,
outplay his ratings. That'd be sick.
Mason Wynn.
Up.
Back comes Mason Wynn, who has now reached 300 here in spring. Overall, you got to be pretty happy with most of these guys' hitting stats so far in spring. Considering we have, what, like 3 hitters that are 70 overall or higher on the whole squad. Oof. Swinging on the slider outside. Tough way to go down for Mason. I don't know why this does this in this game. It's still... So I just have to manually switch over to the Mets, I guess. So Alec Marsh just lets up a home run. At least I know how to get around it, even though it's weird that I have to manually change it. Maybe if I wait until... Okay, I think I have a way to fix it. Because usually I'm hopping in before the inning actually switches, which is why I think it's showing the incorrect lineup. If you actually wait for the inning to flip before you hop into the sim, that might make it so you can actually see what's going on. That's sharply cut right up the middle. JJ down for another hit.
Up next for
Already looking much better.
left fielder, Trevor Hauver.
Already looking much better than what we saw from him in the majors, even though, of course, in simulation, he was actually doing very well last year. 357 for Trevor Hauver. Getting the uniform dirty there. On this rainy afternoon. Oh, that one sounded good. Hauver deep to that right center field, and it is gone. The first home run of Cardinals franchise, Trevor Hauver. His second here of spring. Gonna bring home 2 runs. I think we found the guy that's gonna be number 3 on opening day. He's playing great in spring. He's playing great when we watch. Like what I'm seeing from that pick so far. Up comes Tim Elko.
That's a ball.
Got some of the best power that we have. Being in the 60s. There's only a couple guys on our whole squad that have power in the 60s. This is lifted to right center field. Do we go back to back? It's pretty much the same spot. Wow, let's go. Didn't hit that super hard. Didn't quite reach 100 miles an hour off the bat, but my goodness. Back-to-back homers from this Cardinals Rule 5 draft. Yo, Cagney, thank you so much for the $10. That is extremely generous of you. Also a channel member. So you're helping out the channel a lot, and I really do appreciate it. That's incredibly generous of you. And I will continue to keep up the pace here with MLB The Show. I feel like I was releasing a little bit slow for 2K. We're gonna be keeping up, hopefully, like 3 episodes a week pace for Cardinals franchise for as long as I can handle it. I think baseball is easier to edit than basketball is, which that is part of it too. But thank you so much. Oh, the dive, not gonna get there. So got ourselves some good offense going here in the 3rd. The bats are hot.
The right fielder, Yankiel Fernandez.
Ball.
Fernandez trying to keep the bats hot here. Decent pitch to hit, though. He lifts it out into the outfield. Juan Soto able to get to it before he could get down. We do get the tag situation. So he at least advances a runner.
The third baseman, Brian
We'll take it.
Ramos.
Ramos. I was wondering if it's Ramos or Ramos, but the announcer says Ramos. So I'm going to go with Ramos from now on. He's not a guarantee to be on the opening day roster for us just because he's not a Rule 5 draft pick, so he doesn't have to be. 5-1 here for the Cardinals. I'm glad we hopped into this game. It's been a good one. That one's hit hard. Out to Juan Soto. The throw in, but Ivan Melendez decides to stay at 3rd there. And we don't even get 3 innings out of the starter here for the Mets. They're already bringing in Kodai Senga. Even Robinson, I mean, the 2 guys that are really not very good offensive players at the bottom of our order are both hitting pretty well in spring. I mean, if we can get even like 75% of this level of production from them in the regular season, we'll be cooking with gas. Swinging upstairs there for strike 1. Four pitches in. We've got a 2-2 count for Christian Robinson. Oh, my. Hit deep once more. And it's the 3rd homer of the inning. The Cardinals are on fire. Wow. Wow. Let's go. The Rule 5 draft squad putting it to the Mets here in the 3rd inning. Wow. It's Big Mac, my hitting coach. Who's Big Mac? One sec. Oh, Cardinals legend. Gotcha. I mean, maybe he should be. I mean, we do have a pretty sick hitting coach, to be fair. That was a guy, like, way overpaid to make sure that he chose us. Bernardo Bernal. I can't believe this inning, man. Have we gone through the entire lineup in this inning? I think we have. Or maybe Mason Wynn ended last inning. I can't remember. But he's up here now. So I think that's the entire inning here. The entire rotation. Lineup, I can't speak. And Mason Wynn's going to keep it going. That one hits sharply to left field. On a line, and he slides in safely. Another extra base hit. Oh, my slider's too juiced. I don't think so. This is not common. But it is fun. All right, JJ. Let's see our first Wetherholt home run here. Ooh. Good pitch there from Senga.
Nope, that's foul.
That's going to go foul. Count stays 0-2. I mean, doing it against two different pitchers, too. It wasn't just like we were taking advantage of one guy. Senga beans Wetherholt. I mean, it's spring training. You might as well fight, right? Haaver's the one that got the home run party started here in the third inning. He's back up again. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Charles. Appreciate you. We're hopping in here on the chat. Got 35 people here with us on the live stream. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying. If you're new, this is a draft-only Cardinals rebuilds. We're watching a Rule 5 draft team take it to the New York Mets currently. Finally, the inning ends. But we went through the entirety of the lineup and more in that inning. Oh, I forgot. That inning was so awesome, I forgot to make sure we waited until it flipped over before I hop back in to the sim.
Yes.
Gonna be popped up by Elko here, but it's gonna hit the ground. There we go. We'll take it. Hey, a single's a single. When you're a Rule 5 team, you'll take what you can get. Two for two today is Melendez, and he needed it. His average has gone up to 226 with this. I think it was 172 at the start of this game. Which just goes to show you how small the sample is. You can go up like 40 points in 2 at-bats. Fouled off. Some lucky fan out there about to get a ball. I mean, I feel like you deserve one. If you're out there watching a spring training game out in the rain, you deserve a ball. Full count, and it's off the plate. Good eyes by Melendez. Has reached all 3 times. He's been up to bat today.
Up next for the Cardinals.
I said he was struggling, but he showed me something in this game alone that I think he'll probably be keeping that DH spot at least for now.
Hey.
Fernandez, all right, show me something.
Ball. Low.
Good eyes there. One of the few guys not to get on base for us back in inning 3. Showing some good patience here in this at-bat.
Ball. Inside.
Senga struggling a bit with the command at the moment. Up to 32 pitches already, and they're going to call that for strike 2. I can see it. Payoff pitch is by him. 4 strike 3. Still a good battle for Fernandez. He had a really good battle before, too. He's getting these long at-bats. They're just not working out for him in the end, but getting that pitch count up is still valuable, of course. So 2 runners on, 1 out. You really got to avoid the double play here for Ramos. I mean, I feel like I know it's a 0-0 pitch, but you got to turn on that baby when it's right down the middle. Now you're behind 0-2. Hit hard, but foul. Both runners go on the wild pitch, and he got him there at third base. Good response time there from the catcher. I mean, I don't know if I really need Tim Elko trying to go for a steal, even if it is a pitch in the dirt. It's not a man that is graced with speed. Ramos doing a nice job protecting. Fell behind 0-2 early. Has now extended this at-bat a decent bit and hits it pretty much in the same spot again, almost. I don't even know how many foul tips that is for Ramos here. Seeing the ball well, he just got to... That's 8 pitches now. Pitch number 9. Come on.
That's 3.
That's a tough one to end on. It's a tough one to end on after such a good battle. I mean, we're doing really well on both sides. So far, the Mets only have 1 hit. I mean, they do have Juan Soto up to the plate, but...
You're out. 3.
Now pitching for the Mets, number 45.
Going up against Christian Scott now.
Scott.
This might be the last inning we see of this game. Don't want to spend like too much time on any really one game here. This is about the time that you usually start to see a lot of the substitutes. Not that I don't want to see some substitutes, but probably get going a little bit here in spring. Christian Robinson hit a homer for us.
The catcher, number 13.
In inning 3, gets back on base. Could he be a breakout stud for us? I'd love it if he ends up being a quality hitter. We need some help in the outfield, so if one of these outfielders can show me something as a Rule 5 pick, there's definitely potential for being on the squad for a long time. We have Jason Petit, but he's no sure thing either with his almost non-existent power. Those guys, a little hit and miss, whether they end up being good enough hitters off contact alone. Two is fouled off. I don't know if Soto's going to get there. Yeah, he is. That thing hung in the air forever. Top of the order back up. Helium ball. Yeah, that thing was, oh my. I mean, they hit JJ Wetherholt last inning, or I guess that was inning 3. Now they're going after Mason Wynn. Those are my guys.
Up.
I wish you could fight in this game. That'd be so fun to see. Obviously, I don't know if the CPU would ever do it, but if like the user had an option to rush the mound. Foul tip there will disrupt the steal attempt from Robinson. That's a couple of pretty ugly strikeouts from Mason. But he's also gotten on base for us. Are you going to show us a bullpen game this year? We might. I mean, we definitely don't have great starters. Why not? It's one of the new features in the game. Yeah, we could showcase that this year, I think. I think that would be reasonable to do. We also don't have a great bullpen either, though. JJ, that's going to unfortunately not get to the gap. But pretty well struck from JJ, who, yeah, just looks so much better here in spring. Continues to. That was an out, but that was a better out than even the outs we were seeing last year, especially in AAA. So. So, yeah, I've even allowed it to switch to the inning now, and they still don't. I did say that was probably the last inning, so we'll get through this game. Overall, we saw a lot of fun action in this game. Ultimately, 10-1 a victory over the Mets, showing you that even though we are going to be bad this year as a Rule 5 team, we are going to have some fun games. Sometimes the bats are going to be hot, like they were here today, resulting in a blowout victory. The one thing I don't like about my lineup is it doesn't include Sajazi, who feels like one of our better hitters. But having JJ play second base for us really kind of limits what he can do, because Sajazi can only play second, short, and first. Obviously, he's not playing short. And obviously, since we're playing JJ at second, he's not playing second. The only thing's left at first, and I kind of want my power there. That's like our only power hitters are our first baseman. Melendez ends up player of the game. He got a homer. He got a walk. He got a single and a double. Been doing so much draft only lately that I forgot. Yeah, if you're used to draft only, it's hard for me to not do draft only. Like thinking of the whole world as your oyster. I mean, obviously last year we did the Pirates and made some fun signings. Let's so who are our opponents? We've seen a game against Washington now. We've seen a game against Miami. We've seen a game against the Mets. Pittsburgh, they're in our division. I don't really know if I care that much whether or not we see them in spring. Haven't seen Houston yet. I haven't seen Baltimore yet. Those are kind of the only two teams that we haven't seen yet. So let's go to this game against Baltimore. Who's pitching? All right. Well, actually, so what else do we want to see here in spring? I probably want to see another JJ game. And I probably want to see another Alec Marsh game. And then, so, okay, when's the next time Alec Marsh pitches? I think he just pitched this last Mets game, didn't he? Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I guess we're going to watch this Houston game. Then we'll watch the Baltimore game after. So let's sim a few games here. And then when Marsh gets subbed out, we'll just watch whoever comes in because I do want to see some bullpen as well. Doing a long-term sim for the Angels. Moda is a freak. So Jay-Z plays shortstop, second, third. So, okay. So in real life, let's just take a look here. So in the game, they have him only as first, second, and shortstop. I mean, if he could play third, that would help us, although he doesn't really have a great arm. I mean, if JJ wasn't about to play second in real life, I'd probably just have JJ play third. Although he's not very tall, isn't he? No, he's only 5'10", so probably not. Yeah, we'll definitely get him some games. Left field I can easily see as well, for sure. Because he is one of our highest contact hitters on the whole squad. Not a power hitter, but he's a solid fielder with good speed and good contact. Yet he's not in our lineup. We'll see. He wasn't in the lineup that I made for spring. I'll just say that. But I could see him being over Ramos. I could see him. I mean, not over Hauer. Hauer's been good for us. How's the Jay-Z hit? 353. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find a spot for him in our lineup. It's in 353 for us this spring. Only 17 at bats so far. So how about let's just do this for now. I think he's gonna get a bunch of errors though if I don't actually manually add that as one of his secondary positions. So we're just gonna have. I don't really care if he can play first base. He's never going to play first base for us, so I'll remove his first base flexibility. There you go. Let's do that. Get him some more reps. And I also need to do it against left-handed pitching because he's actually better there. Although our third base against lefties is actually even better. Maybe we do this. Oh, except he doesn't have actual left base flexibility in this game. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to have to do for now. He's played 35 games at second, 33 at shortstop, and 18 games at third base. He's only played one game at first base. You love to see it. Some of these positions that they give guys in this game is kind of funny. I try to mostly follow it unless, like, Von Rye just gave us, there's actual data showing that he should be given other positions. Go Redbirds is what they have on the screen when you get into the game. Is that something that Cardinals fans actually say? Because I need like a sign off for this series. I don't have it yet. I know Von Rye's here. He's a Cardinals fan. Like, what do you say? Like, Eagles fans say go Birds. Pirates fans say go Bucks. What do Cardinals fans say? It is go Redbirds. I'll have to make that my sign off then.
Leading off the afternoon.
What we did? Oh no, we're watching pitching this game. We watched hitters last game. We're gonna watch the pitching today. Ooh, Elko with a homer. So here we are against the Astros lineup. Marsh, pretty solid for us. Our first look at him. He ends up getting lucky there with a foul ball because that was hit pretty hard there by Correa. And then it's hit hard again, this time to the opposite side. Over to right field. Leadoff single for Carlos Correa there. That'll bring up Yordan Alvarez. Just played these guys in the spring with the Nationals. Yeah, they definitely got some hitters here. And if you saw how good a Rule 5 draft team can hit, then a team like the Astros, especially because our pitching is not great. Alec Marsh is our ace, man. He's 73 overall. We could be getting crushed because the sliders are set up in a way where if you're not pitching good pitchers, you're going to have some innings like we had last game with the Cardinals. That's still very rare. 3 home runs in an inning. I think that's the first time I've seen it. I've seen 2 before in my slider testing. Yeah, the opening day Nationals team is pretty horrid. They have a lot of young guys with potential, which makes them a fun rebuild. Alvarez crushed that thing. Gets to the wall. That's probably scoring Correa here, you have to imagine. And, oh no! The relay gets him! Let's go!
The shortstop, Jeremy.
Great play there to tag him out. I thought that was going to be an RBI for sure, Hover. So Win, we know he has a good arm, and it was right on the money. I mean, you can't throw it better than that for Win. Yeah, that was perfect throw from Mason Wynn. Which is why he's so exciting for us, is what he does defensively. Haven't seen him make like a crazy play yet, but nobody's really hit him the ball yet. As far as fielding, but that was a great showcase of his arm.
Ball.
With that 99 fielding, and I think he has 99 reaction forward. So if you hit something short to the shortstop, Wynn's gonna get you out pretty reliably, which is very nice. Christian Walker having a paltry spring here. 119. Jeez, that's even worse than Jordan Walker for us last year. That's pretty crazy. Going around that one pretty ugly. Starting to see why he's hitting 119. If he's going for pitches like that, shouldn't even honestly pitch anything in the strike zone if you're Alec Marsh right now.
Ball one.
Okay. I thought that would have been a pretty good pitch for Walker to hack at, but that time he showed some good eyes. There you go. Get some swinging for strike 3. Alec Marsh hyped up about that one. I mean, a couple pretty hard hits, but still comes away clean in the inning. 0 runs. Alec Marsh not pitching perfectly, but considering we're talking about a 73 overall player, I think I'm pretty happy with what I've seen from him on the mound so far. The nature of his semi-high overall and B potential probably means he's going to be in our rotation for a while. You know, I definitely wouldn't mind getting a generational pitcher in this class, as much as I'd probably prefer a generational hitter, because I really want some power. If we could get, I'm doing off my channel, I'm doing like a personal rebuild with the Twins. And there was a generational center fielder in that class that would be perfect for the Cardinals.
Batting 6, the designated hitter.
Would have been perfect. He's like 6'4", 90+ speed, center fielder with power in the 60s. I mean, that's what we need. I think, I mean, I'll talk about it more probably either next episode or the one after, but I've got some pretty set positions I need. Hey, there's the Jay-Z over there playing some third fourths. Got some things that I'm really hoping to get out of this draft class. And an ace pitcher is one of them. I think we have a lot of really solid, fun pitchers in our organization right now. We don't have a guy that I look at and say, yeah, you're an ace. For some of them, it's just like, I know, like Liam Doyle only has low B potential. I don't know exactly where it is. Same with Saintia. But I also found out Urangelos Saintia's nickname is Lou, so I'm probably just going to start calling him Lou, because that's way easier, unless I'm feeling, adventurous.
Leading off for the Cardinals, the catcher, number 13, Leonardo Bernal.
You think that the drop from 15% to 10% for regional pitcher scouting will inhibit you at all? I have noticed it. It's been the biggest thing that has affected it for me is that oftentimes, instead of going 5 weeks for a region, I did it for this franchise last year, and I've also done it in a lot of my simulations. only end up going 4 weeks for a region, and then I'll spend a couple of weeks wrapping up whoever looked good, just because 10% is so low.
Up next for the Cardinals.
So
Mason.
that would be the number one thing I'd say I've noticed is sometimes I just don't end up going all 5 weeks. I'll go 4. And then whatever the 1 or 2 or sometimes 3 best players looked at from that 40% that you got, I'll just finish off their profiles with a week of individual scouting. Because you need 5 good pitchers for it to be worth scouting region over individual now. And before with 15, like you need 3 to tie and 4 for it to be better than individual, right? So it's just the bar has been cleared. So if there's only 2 or 3 good-looking pitchers after 4 weeks, then don't do any more regional pitching for scouters. Yeah, Mason wins pretty furious with that call. That looked way outside to me, and it was.
JJ Wetherholt.
Need high stamina with the high control. Yeah, stamina control, always important. I mean, stamina, I like high stamina. It's not like if there's a guy with like 70 stamina, but he's otherwise really good, I'll take him. But
Number 20.
for me, stamina is often a tiebreaker.
JJ Wetherholt.
Are you considering NR? Well, yeah, usually by the time you get them up to 40%, they'll be higher than NR by your scouts, usually. If they are still good for the guys that have the 99 max potential. So that does include that for sure. I just look for guys that
That's off the plate.
that are either NR or guys that my scouts are much higher on than their MLB draft rank. Unless it's like a top 10 guy, because you can't be much higher than top 10 on the guy, you know, but looking for those kind of players. And if there's 5 of them, sure, keep going. But I think for both of the regions in year 1 of Cardinals draft, I only did 4 weeks for each region so that I could have 2 more weeks to do individual. But I can't remember if I 100% did that. I do that a lot now,
Ball inside.
which I didn't mention in my scouting video because I didn't really know that I would be doing it as often as I would. Is that I have since that scouting video. It's still perfectly fine to do 5 and 5 and then have 4 individual weeks. I just think it might be a little bit more optimal to do 4 and 4 and have 6 individual weeks sometimes. I also didn't talk about how to find generational pitchers in that video, and I wish I would have got to that. I ended up just adding a pinned comment of what I used to find generational pitchers. There are a couple of things. There's also a couple other tells, like if you have a guy with a rating that's really low, like sometimes you'll see it as steal, sometimes you'll see it as bunting. Those are usually the ratings that are like really, really low. If like somebody's range is like 0 to 3,
That's in.
then you know he's going to come in on the high end of his ranges because it's not like he's going to have a negative attribute for his stealing, right? So there's other small tells I didn't get to in my video. But the first Washington draft counted every starting pitcher, and East has as many as international and more than Central. Yeah, East is more viable this year than in previous years. I'd still say nice double play. The 4-6-3. Seeing our stud infielders working together there. I do use East more than I did last year, but I'd still say I end up with Central about as often, if not maybe still even a little bit more than East. Because part of it is volume, but also part of it is quality. I look at the top 30-ish players and to see who actually looks good. That's part of what you want to do when you're considering East versus Central. Have I seen any two-way players? I have not seen any two-way generational players. I haven't checked for other two-way players because non-generational two-way players are terrible in this game. So I'm honestly not even interested in finding them.
Up next,
All their hitting ratings are in like the 30s.
the left fielder, number
And I guess I haven't looked at it, so I don't know if it's the same in this game, but I feel like they would have told us they were going to be better if they were going to be better. Because the game wants to take credit for everything that they improve, right? So if they didn't take credit for improving that, I doubt it's something that they've improved over previous games. Considering most of the things surrounding the draft are very similar to last iterations of the game. They just changed the player cards, which gave us the 85 durability tell. That doesn't sound like it's going to last very long in this game, which I like. Good pitch there from Marsh. So far, keeping the Astros off the board here. Two gone. Man on first. 2-2 pitch. Ooh. Well, it sounded pretty hard coming off the bat, but it goes foul. Upstairs. That'll bring us to a full count here. Marsh. And can't be received cleanly by Elko, but he's able to recover and get it to Marsh before Alvarez could reach the bag. I mean, I've still only found one two-way generational player in 3 years. And it was my man, the GOAT himself.
You're out. 3.
Neil Dorsey, of course. Jeremy Pena going to fly out here to Robinson. Need more usable hitters. I agree. There's too many people that, yeah, with A potential, but overall, I think anything under 55 overall is like totally useless. At least with like the mid to high 50s, you can convince yourself that with great development he'll get there. But man, anything under than that is the only use of that player is making your draft card look good. You know, look, oh man, I got 4 A potential players, but 3 of them are below 50 overall. Yeah.
Ball, that's in.
There is, I mean, there have been low durability players always, but man, there are some low durability players this year. Just last draft, I mean, there were 2 guys that are actually both at the MLB already from the draft in this franchise that are just would have been really good players, but their durability is just terrible. So JZ with a dive to stop the ball, but
He made it.
not going to get the force out at second there. Call it a base hit. More balanced prospects. Yeah, there's so many guys who are good but have 0 power. There's so many guys that can hit, but they can't field at all.
Now he's safe.
And we allow the first run here of the game, bottom of the 4th. Not going to be a particularly hard hit ball. Fernandez couldn't throw him out there, which you got 99 arm strength, man. What are you doing? You want just pitchers, not SP, RP, CP? I could see not having RP and CP, but I think I like the distinction between bullpen arms and starters. Myself, as a
That's outside.
guy who pretty much only knows baseball through MLB The Show. 'Cause I'm sure a lot of the bullpen arms come into the league as starters, right, in real life?
Up next for the Astros,
And then just become bullpen arms.
fielder, number 10, Joey Lover.
Been using that 4-seamer 60% of the time. And just outfielders. Kind of the same for me. I think center field is different from right and left. I mean, even right and left have some differences too, but probably they're close enough that you could lump them together. I mean, it should definitely be just outfield when you're scouting by region. Then maybe it'd be worth it. Maybe. You know, we're watching pitching, but I want to see a Thomas to Jay-Z at bat because we haven't seen one yet.
Off the plate.
So we're going to watch this at bat. I've typically done that too, or at least thought of them as relievers, anyone under 70 stamina, but like
That's ball 2.
Lou is at 69 stamina. Nice. And I'm going to try to keep him as a starter. I could see him ultimately being one of our long relievers just because having a switch pitcher as a long reliever sounds really nice. If you're going up against a platoon hitter, you can bring him in for whoever it is, you know? That sounds pretty convenient, but definitely going to give him every chance to be actually a guy in our rotation, though.
That's a ball.
While we watch this to Jay-Z about, let's get back to the pitching.
Ball 4. Take your base. Out.
Now pitching for the Cardinals.
Marcus Johnson coming in. He's one of the Rule 5 starters. I was kind of hoping to see some bullpen arms. So I'm going to sim until we get to a bullpen arm here. I mean, he might be one of our long relievers, so I guess that technically would be, but...
You're out. Out. 3.
Now pitching for St. Louis.
All right.
Number 3.
Gerson Moreno.
Moreno.
Or Gerson Moreno? Moreno?
Leading up for the Astros, the designated hitter, Isa Paredes.
Haven't seen any of our bullpen guys in action yet, so... Moreno's hasn't been great so far in spring. His ERA is in the mid-6s. But we're talking... What was that, 11 innings pitch or something like that? Not a ton. He was the guy that I added to the 40-man roster because he threw hard, so good to see some nice velocity here.
Nope. That's a ball.
Oh, I'm starting to get stuffy, which means I need to hydrate. One sec. Oh, this is not working. Here we go. Holding a 2-1 lead here. Let's see if we can close it out with the bullpen. Gonna fly out over to Robinson. Yonder Diaz. Or Yonder. What? Why am I having struggles with that name right now? Diaz. I feel like I know how to pronounce the name. I'm just struggling right now. All right, so some soft contact force from Moreno here. Out into the outfield, giving Robinson a little bit of a workout here in this 6th inning.
Ball. That pitch is out.
Definitely one of the hardest throwers we got on the big league squad for us this year. Yeah, as much as I want a power hitter number 1, if we could get like a ace that throws some gas in this draft, I'd be pretty happy with that. Not that I'm not going to draft somebody ace quality if they don't throw gas, but
Ball.
I'd prefer. I mean, having Paul Skeens, I mean, I don't expect anybody to reach that level, but having Paul Skeens last year was so fun to watch. So if I could get someone that can kind of replicate that. Loperfido thinks he should be walking right now, and nope, that clipped the zone. Lose your challenge, you fool. I've been playing a little bit of Road to the Show, and so having to actually challenge things myself, I've lost like 80% of my challenges. And by that, I like 4 out of the 5. I haven't challenged a ton. I've also been playing some FC26. I know in past years people have been in support of me playing some soccer on the channel. I don't know if I'm ever going to do it on the channel, but I have been having a lot of fun on FC26. Doing there's not really such thing as a draft-only rebuild. It's like a Youth Academy only rebuild.
Ball.
Jake Myers on a bit of a heater, 920 OPS over his last 4 games. Not a great average for him over the entirety of spring training, though. He'll get it over to third to JZ with the accurate throw across the diamond. Gets us out of the inning. Nothing doing for Houston here. We also haven't seen Santiago Espinal, who is great at hitting lefties. So let's watch this at-bat, too. Some of the guys we haven't been able to see that will be part of the squad for us. Backs him off the plate there. All right, we get your point, Bryant. I mean, it worked a little bit. Got him to swing at that outside the zone. I mean, he's got some great plate vision.
That's ball 3.
Shouldn't be swinging it too much outside the zone, and he's able to avoid it there. Ooh, Fernandez is not having a good spring. Why, man? I want you to succeed so much. I don't know why, but like one of my, like I just love right fielders with a big arm. It's like one of the things I want the very most. Oof. So whenever everybody has it, I'm going to root for them a bunch. Florida versus Alabama, NCAA baseball.
Number 19, Jose.
Florida hit a Bama player on purpose to load the bases. And the next batter hit a grand slam. Oh, nice. Probably too early to say. No, I'm not playing any football this year on my channel. In fact, I don't know if I'm ever playing football again on my channel. It is a sad thing for me to say. I love this sport so much. But nobody watch. I mean, I won't say nobody. There are obviously some of my more loyal followers, and there are football fans among you.
Now pitching
It is not
number
a
56.
sport that does well on my channel.
For the Astros, number 20, Troy.
Like, I put so much work into that Utah Tech rebuild.
This change for the Cardinals.
Uh,
Right field, number 15.
and that Utah Tech team builder or whatever, getting all the logos right and all that. And it was like the worst start to a series I've ever had. So I'm just not even trying this year. But the good news for baseball fans, that means I'll be playing baseball for longer because I won't have any of the, July, August releases. I'm not going to be playing those games, which means I'll be incentivized to keep this series going on even longer. I might even do a second baseball series, depending on how the Cardinals series goes. I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, if we're already starting with a draft only, where do you go from draft only now? I was thinking either a all discovery, where I can only draft discovery players for the entirety of the rebuild, or would it even be harder to do a no discovery rebuild, where it's draft only, but I can't use discovery to draft? I was thinking about that. Crushed by Jonah Bride, but unfortunately not going to find a gap.
The batter, number 3, shortstop, Jared Pinch.
So we might be seeing a second one. It kind of depends on, if it takes 9 years for the Cardinals to win the World Series, then probably not going to be enough time to do another series, I won't be doing it alongside the Cardinals. It would be after. I like having just one series going at a time. Every time I've had multiple, I just end up wanting to do one of them a lot more than the other. And it pressures me to release like 5 episodes a week, which when I have an actual full-time job is not very fun. To also do like 5 YouTube episodes a week. Ooh, that's a good hit. Man, we're getting a little lucky. There's been a lot of hard contact by the Astros, but not a lot of it's getting down.
For the Astros, Now playing.
Let's see where Bernal's average is. He's over 2 today.
This change for the Astros.
Starting to get a lot of the
Number 2, Bryce
subs going.
Matthews.
Ow! That's ball 4.
The only CFB videos that do anything views-wise are the ones showing you how to. Well, I know the big CFB channels like Bengal and Bordeaux is the one I was thinking of.
Now for St. Louis.
They do the ones where you do one series in one season in one episode,
DeSanto. This change for the
which could happen. But I'm just not going to buy the game.
left field. Number
I have CFB 25. I enjoy CFB. I enjoy playing CFB 25 on my own time, and that's just how I'm gonna enjoy the football games. I'll just have CFB 25 until
That's a ball.
maybe they come out with like a major update. Then I'll buy a new CFB game and maybe play it on my channel. But no plans for that as it currently sits. I'd honestly sooner play the next soccer game, FC 27. If I'm going to play a non-2K, non-MLB The Show game this year, it's probably EAFC. Because I'm actually having a ton of fun. Even though I have known nothing about soccer, that's part of why it's fun for me. Building a team, and I know nothing about the sport, pretty much.
up next, pinch hitting for the Astros.
But I've learned a lot. I mean, I learned baseball through MLB The Show. I'm kind of learning soccer now through FC 26. I got it for like 70% off or whatever, and I've just been playing it a lot over the last month or so. Man, Nick Prado's been terrible in spring. So far, we're actually winning a decent amount of games in spring. Now, spring's not the same as regular season, of course. Oh, jeez. That thing was rocketed on our bench. My goodness, dude. I think it had some heat on it. I mean, that might have been Jordan Walker right in the temple. Swinging at it in the dirt. Able to complete the out there.
Pinch hitting for the Astros, number 70, Duke.
CJ Culpepper didn't mention that he is now the pitcher here for this inning.
Aye.
Wasn't crazy about FC. I've also tried a little bit of NHL. I can't remember what year it was, but it was like free, so I gave it a try. I could not get into that one, but I didn't try super hard. Like this EAFC, I at least like watched a couple YouTube videos to
Nope. Ball 1.
at least have an idea of what I was doing. Whereas I didn't do that with hockey. I just kind of went in totally blind. And nice inning there from Culpepper. Gets a couple strikeouts.
For the Astros,
Ball 4. Take your base. Ball 4. Take your base. You're out.
Now we just got to finish it off here in the ninth. Won't be
now pitching for the Cardinals, number 57, Zach.
all right, here we go. Zach Thompson.
Ball. That's inside.
Won't be a situation for our closers, what I was about to say before I totally lost my train of thought. But not looking great. Yeah, he's been in our lineup against lefties. I mean, against lefties in spring. We just haven't watched him hit because the time we watched our whole offense, we weren't playing a lefty. But
Inside. Ball 1.
so he'll have some ABs that we'll get to look at in spring. But I would honestly project he's definitely like a minus something favorite to be a AAA for us this year. You're doing a youth academy in FC 25. It's pretty fun, and I think the gameplay, again, coming from the perspective of a guy who knows nothing about soccer, the CPU versus CPU gameplay has been enjoyable.
Ball. That's out.
You have to tune the sliders there, and I watched a YouTube video on what sliders to use there, but
That's out.
I just don't know if it's ever going to come to my channel because I wouldn't know how to edit soccer gameplay. There's Jay Allen. Probably a backup infielder for us if he makes the team. If not, we'll be sending him back to, is it the Reds that he's on?
Nope. Outside.
I think it's the Reds. But he's likely going to be a backup infielder for us. I don't want to be giving away our Rule 5 draft picks for free. Nice glove there from Sajazi. And that's going to be a Cardinals win. Overall, an impressive round of pitching. Got to see Alec Marsh for a second time. Got to see a little bit of our bullpen. That's kind of what I wanted to see from that game. And hey, man, I've been impressed from what I've seen from this team in the spring so far. I will say that. One issue with both FC and... See, I actually like the FC, CPU versus CPU gameplay. You just have to tune it right with sliders. I think you can send the Real 5 guys to the minors after the All-Star break. Oh, can you? Interesting. That might be something we try with like a couple if there are some AAA guys that deserve a spot on our major league team because they're hitting well, and if we have some struggling guys, vice versa. That is most of what I wanted to catch here in spring, but I think I want to get a little bit more JJ Wetherholt. Unless somebody else has a player or a situation that you want to see here in spring. I want to get a little bit more JJ here. He's up to 304 average so far this spring with the 1 homer. I want to see a JJ homer. Almost accidentally exited out. Not that that would have been terrible. So Baltimore is the only team on our schedule for spring that we haven't actually watched except for Pittsburgh. Yeah, JJ's definitely done well enough to claim his spot. Like I said, it was not a very high bar that he needed to pass because I wanted him to make the opening day roster. He would have had to, like I remember when I first checked in on him, he was hitting like 111. Yeah, that would have been bad enough that he would have started the year in AAA. But instead, he's been hitting really well. Tink Hence going to be on the mound first, but that's not what we're watching. He instantly gives up a home run. Nice. Oh, my goodness. Tink. Tink's another one who's probably going to AAA. He's probably going to AAA. We get a leadoff single from Mason Wynn.
The second baseman, JJ Wetherholt.
I ended up getting one more pitcher than I needed in the Rule 5 draft in expectation that Hence would be in AAA, just because he struggled there last year. So I didn't feel like he earned a spot on opening day roster, at least not without a strong spring. And at least based off that first inning, doesn't look very strong to me. I don't know if the rest has been good, but that was not impressive. Strikeout here for Wetherholt, not great. Here's a quick look at our averages. Fernandez has been bad. Melendez has been bad, but he had that great game that we watched, so I'll give him some leeway. Other than that, I think everybody's either like at or above expectation.
Safe.
Oh, no. All right, Elko with a double.
Ball 4, take your base. 3.
Much better second inning from Hence there.
Out. Out. You're out. 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 3.
All right, okay, so innings 2 and 3 were good for Hence. Nice. 2 for 2 day for Mason Wynn so far. And we get a runner in scoring position for JJ here, bottom of the third.
Ball 1.
If you've been chilling with us in the stream all day, if you wouldn't mind doing me a big favor, dropping a like on the stream here today. It helps me out a lot. I am so close now to 5K subscribers, and that kind of engagement, the likes, the chats. I'm very appreciative of everyone who's been in the chat today. Helps push my channel out. I mean, Von Ryan was telling me I was YouTube featured today. That sounds crazy to me, but sounds like we were, so a like would really help me out, and I'd appreciate it. Oh, that was low. That was low. That was low. Oh, yeah. Let's go. Already liked it. Thank you, Captain Tux. Come on. Nope, not going to work. Nice little spinning throw there from Jackson Holiday.
Up next for the Cardinals.
He's got his brother Ethan with the Rockies now. That's fun.
3. You're out. Ball 4. Take your base. That's ball 4.
Still haven't been able to find the hype feature at all. I kind of honestly forgot it existed because I know it. I think you have to be on like a certain. If you have to be on desktop, if you have to be on your mobile or something. So I just stopped even asking for it because it seemed like it's. I know I've been able to see it, and I usually watch on desktop, but I also watch on mobile sometimes.
Out. 3. You're out.
Now pitching for the Orioles.
3.
Number 82. The batter, number 22.
All right, let's get a hit today, JJ.
JJ Wetherholt.
But if you do know where the hype is and you could do it, that would help me out a lot as well. Can you even hype streams, or is it just videos? I don't even know. Like I said, I'm not very familiar with it. They released it and kind of screwed channels my size over. It was definitely a feature made for more people around like the 500K subscriber count. But, ooh, hit hard, but way foul.
Inside. Ball 2.
That'll even up the count. 2 apiece here. JJ looking for his first hit on the day.
Ball. That's in.
I mean, I'll even take a reach via walk, which is now a possibility with a full count. Staying alive here. Good battle between Wolfram and Wetherholt. Who will come out on top? We won't find out on that pitch. How many pitches are we at this at bat right now? It's been full count. This is like the 3rd or 4th pitch of a full count, and ultimately Wolfram will get the better of Wetherholt, but I'll take that at bat for sure. I don't even know if he's going to get another one in this game. He might get subbed out before he gets another one.
Ball 4. Take your base.
Not a great pitching day for us today, that's for sure. This is about more what I expected from this team. But they've been surprisingly very good most of spring when we've hopped in, but
Ball 4. Take your base.
this has not been our best game.
3.
This is when it really slows down. All right, here we go.
Now pitching for Baltimore. Number 38. Kyle
3.
Radish.
You're out. Out. Out.
All right, will Wetherholt get another at-bat?
He's hitting for the Cardinals.
Nope. All right, here we go. So all that waiting, and he didn't even get another at-bat. I don't actually want to go to the replay vault. There's nothing for us to replay. All right, I think we're going to do one more JJ game, and that'll pretty much wrap up what I have planned for spring. Oh, I was going to do it against Pittsburgh because that's the only team we haven't watched. You know, we had good juju against the Mets. Let's do it again. Let's do our last game against the Mets, which is Actually, no, I changed my mind. We're going to do it against Miami. One more JJ game here. Heck, we'll do a Mason and JJ game, and that'll be the last thing we do here spring. We're about 2 hours in. That's about usually how often most of my streams run. Unless it was, what was it, the Blizzard playoffs? Man, those recordings / live streams ended up being really long sometimes. But for spring, I think about 2 hours seems about right. And we're approaching that. We'll see how Marsh does. And he gets 2 strikeouts and a fly out there. We're going against Yuri Perez. Not the easiest competition. What's he rated this year? '86. Definitely throws gas. Pretty well-rounded skill set here. Very good at avoiding hits against left-handed batters. So not going to be the easiest competition for our hitters to go up against here to finish up this streak.
No.
Mason Wynn hitting pretty well over the last few games. 4 of 10. Almost at 300 for the year. Oh, tried to go for the bunt. That's where all that negative bunting that we took in the offseason comes back to bite us, I guess. Swinging through that one. Had some nice break on that one from Yuri. That'll even us up at 2 apiece. That was just a well pitched at bat from Yuri there. Hard to blame Mason for that one.
Hi.
99 on the gun for that strike 1 pitch. Wetherholt's average is down to 243. Man, it really swings a lot when you have this small sample size. It was wasn't it over 300 the last time we checked? So he's on a cold streak. Still has done enough, both when we're watching and in the sim, to be our opening day second baseman. But don't love that it might be heading to opening day on a bit of a cold streak. Tenth pitch of the inning for Yuri here, and it's in for strike 3 low. Definitely in the zone, though. So both of our guys get struck out. I was not joking when I said this was not an easy matchup for them. I think that we've shown that we are capable of success against not great pitching, but when we play good pitchers, we do not have the facilities to hit very well. All right, back up here in the third. We got 1-1. Did get a solo homer. Seems like the whole team slumped. I mean, definitely could have been. I mean, we're never going to keep up. Some of those averages for the first half of spring training were wild, considering the ratings of these guys. Good challenge there from Mason. He knows his stuff. This time able to get ahead of the count. That's what you like to see. And he goes for the bunt again. And if I knew Mason was going to main bunting so much, I wouldn't have taken all those negatives. I still would have taken all those negatives, actually. Ooh. Almost swung himself out of his shoes on that one. So it took Yuri 10 pitches to get through Mason Wynn and Wetherholt, and then it took him 20 to get through the entirety of the rest of the lineup, as took him less than that even. But Wynn in a great battle here. That one lifted to right. Hit decently well, but doesn't have nearly enough carry to leave the yard. Wetherholt. Up to bad next. He's down to the number 9 prospect. He's number 2 in our organization. If I was ranking our prospects, I'd honestly put him over Oliver Davis myself. But he's not going to be a prospect for much longer, so it's not going to matter. And he gets on base there with a single. Yeah, this is about time I need to end the stream because I'm starting to get really stuffed up and I don't have any water left in my bottle.
That's ball 4.
All right. Marshman. Oh, right when I say he's continuing his strong spring. Gives up the solo homer. Still overall pretty good from him, though, considering the ratings.
Ball.
So they're leaving Yuri here out for the 5th. Go a little bit deeper as spring goes along, just trying to get these starters ready for full games. As Yuri's probably looking to prepare for an opening day start for Miami, I'd imagine. Opening day episode. Planning on it coming out maybe tomorrow, latest Tuesday. That's why I also kind of want to get the stream wrapped up so I can get to recording that opening day. But should be fun. From what I've seen in the spring, I think we got a good chance of having a really fun opening day. I have no idea who we're facing. If they've got a great ace, then it might not be so fun. But, oh, that was crushed. Win. Gone. Let's go, baby. That's the final Mason Wynn impression we want from spring. His second homer of the period. Ties us up at 2 apiece. I mean, that thing was... Oh, the sound of that coming off the bat. You just knew it was gone, man. 414, 108 nearly off the bat. We're not watching any more Mason Wynn. That's the final impression of Mason Wynn for the stream. I want that to be the last thing you see as we prepare for the regular season. We'll stick through it with JJ Wetherholt, though. That is safe. That should be extra bases. Wynn going for Silver Slugger, that would be amazing. I would love for Wynn to have a good enough offensive season to be even in contention for that.
Now for Miami, number 90, Jack.
So the Marlins bringing a lefty here.
Out. 3. Out. 3. You're out. 3. Out. Ball 4. Take your base. 3. Out.
And that might be the last we see of JJ Wetherholt as well. Depending on if he actually comes out here. Nope. All right. So that's it. So the last, we saw an extra base hit and a home run to end spring training. I think that is a good final note to provide a little bit of excitement for the top of our order. A lot of our team, yeah, it's Rule 5 draft picks. I get that. But we do still have some very exciting players. And we saw some glimpses of hope even from those Rule 5 draft picks here in the stream. It gives you hope that while it might not be filled with wins, we can have a lot of fun and exciting moments in Season 2 of Cardinals franchise. I think there's a good chance. I think there's particularly opportunity in the outfield to really make your mark and end up on this team for quite some time for those guys that are playing out there. It's a lot more open right now than it is in the infield, where we got a lot of high value players already on the squad. But I'm not going to sim this yet because I want to set all this up, and I don't think I'm going to take the time to do that here on the stream. I want to make sure, because if you don't trim your MLB team down to 26 before you end spring, that's when the CPU will do a lot of the shifting for you. So you want to have your MLB team down to 26 before you finish spring training. Just a little bit of a tip there. So that, I mean, they probably put like Oliver Davis up to AAA and then a bunch of other stuff. So we will quickly go through stats, though. Basin Wynn finishes with a 305 average and 2 home runs in spring. That is incredible for him. 260 with a home run for Wetherholt. Actually, let's do it from the other screen. Here we go. Let's just sort here. So Baez actually only 19 at-bats, but hit 421. I mean, my plan was for him to go to AAA, and it probably still is, even though he was great in 19 at-bats. Just because I kind of need bodies there at AAA. Ramos hit really well in spring as well. That kind of makes it hard for me to place a JZ at third base over Ramos. I'm not going to lie, that's really good, and he actually had 50 at-bats. Tim Elko. I know we got him for his bat. He was our second pick in the Rule 5 draft. Omar Alfonso, our backup catcher, actually did pretty good. Thomas Ajazi. Didn't get him involved probably as early as we should have. We still ended up with 57 at-bats and hit 298, 866 OPS. So, man, that third base battle. 2 of our best performers in spring, both fighting for third base. And then also Santiago Espinal. We got some. He only had a 672 OPS, though. But he's very much so a platoon guy. So, Ivan Melendez ended up with 275. So, we got that average up quite a bit. Also, I'm pretty confident that's going to lead us alongside Tim Elko for the most homers. So, probably keeping that DH spot on lockdown. Jay Allen, going to be a backup infielder for us. Wetherholt ends up with a 716 OPS. Not incredible. I mean, he had a lot of guys that maybe hit better than him in the spring, but still definitely good enough. He will be on the 40-man, on the MLB roster for opening day. Christian Robinson, more of a defender, but honestly, I'm taking these numbers for spring. Jordan Walker, how many at-bats did he get? He got 32 at-bats. Didn't do horribly with them, but still, I mean, OPS is probably one of the worst on the teams. That's third worst on the team. So, yeah, he's definitely a AAA player for us next year. Hover, man, it kind of looked good when we were watching, but ultimately didn't have that great of a spring. So we're having him play at left field. Maybe it's a Jay-Z plays left field then. We were told by Von Rye here that he can play left. Maybe Hover gets his spot taken. I'll have to think about that. Torres is going to be a backup infielder for us. Bernal will be our catcher. Fernandez, man. Maybe he's the one that gets benched. I really don't want to bench him, though. I'm playing favorites. He's playing right field for us. And then Pacheco's going to be another backup infielder for us on our 40-man, on our MLB roster. As for pitchers, man, Tink Hens was terrible. Yeah, he's definitely AAA for us. Zephyr John wasn't very good. Culpepper wasn't very good. Sandlin wasn't very good. McKendry wasn't very good. Considering the overalls, once you get below 5, I'm kind of taking it with these guys. Marcus Johnson pitched pretty well. Alec Marsh, here's our ace. He pitched pretty well in his 24 innings, which led spring training for us. Luis Guerrero here, 306. High whip, though. Zach Thompson, really good. One of our more veteran relievers. Pedro Avila, we saw that one, I think, rough inning from him. Was it him that I'm remembering? But that must have been his only rough inning. And then Yario Rodriguez. Not a ton of innings pitched once you get to the relievers, but there you have it. Those are the spring ratings. I will set our opening day lineup based off of them. Thanks so much to everyone who tuned in to the stream today. Again, if you haven't yet, if you could drop a like, I would greatly appreciate it. And a special shout out to everyone who participated in chat today. But above all else, shout out to Cagney for the $10 super chat. Very much so. Appreciated it. And we'll see y'all soon to kick off season 2 of St. Louis Cardinals franchise. And I'll see you then.